Bonjour family, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Christelle. Welcome. In today's video, I want to share with you my 2 ways of making my very own rosemary oil at home and how you can do it also. I do have a bunch of rosemary plant in my back garden because I planted them a couple of years ago and now I'm really enjoying them. Okay, and let's get started. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel and you enjoy a good DIY, please consider subscribe to the channel. Yes, support your girl and we can grow your hair together. So let's get started. I started by washing my rosemary leaves and let them dry completely. Okay, and before we get started, while we're getting our rosemary leaves ready, I want to share with you a couple of facts about rosemary oil. And we know that rosemary is as effective as minoxidil, okay? And the minoxidil we're talking about Rogaine, quite expensive product for hair, and rosemary water or rosemary oil or anything rosemary is as effective as this medication. And rosemary has the ability also to heal nerves ending that's lead to rejuvenated the nerves in the scalp and the possibility of restoring hair growth. And people, for the one who have alopecia, rosemary is quite powerful. I know some people with alopecia, they have to inject the scalp with something the doctor does, but you can give rosemary a try. If you have postpartum shedding, I did have postpartum shedding, and I do have good news for you guys. My postpartum shedding has reducing so well. I'm so happy about it. So really, rosemary is very powerful oil when it comes to restore your scalp, to regrow your hair and keep the hair on your scalp. As I lost a lot of hair due to postpartum shedding, what I've done, I use a lot of rosemary tea, I use rosemary oil, and it really sprout out new hair. So while I'm shedding hair, I was encouraging new growth with rosemary, guys, and it tastes lovely. I'm so happy I'm using rosemary. Okay, here I'm using a mortar to crush my rosemary leaves. You can use a blender to grind it if you don't have a mortar, or you can even put it in a pan with a end like that and you can smash it. I prefer to do it like that instead of using my blender. I could also use my blender, the result would be the same, but that's the one I went for this time. And make sure like you use something underneath if you're using a table or anything. And here, guys, I'll end up with some rosemary like powder. My hand is aching, but it was worth it. And I will pour it in. I will pour it into one of my jar who has a nice lid. Make sure your jar is airtight. And the first oil I will be using, it will be my olive oil, because olive oil is nice and strengthening the hair. It will strengthen the hair. It's moisturizing. It make the hair soft. It's all good thing about it. And it will be 1.5 cup of rosemary of olive oil. I'll be using that recipe, and I will add a spoon of coconut oil. I did not add more coconut oil because I don't want the coconut oil to sit there. But if you are living in a hot country and your coconut oil will want sit, or your coconut oil has been extracted like in hot way, like when I say there's a cold way to extract coconut oil and there is a hot way with heat. So if your coconut oil is just as I just mentioned, just you can use it, it will sit there. But for me, because I'm living in a very cold country, I don't want it to sit there, and I will go ahead and I will put it in a bain-marie. Literally, I will put it in hot water and I will forget about it, put it at very low, and I think it stay in that water for 1 hour. And after I stay for 1 hour, I just put it aside and let it cool completely. Like I decide to leave my leaves in the oil to not separate it, and I will keep it like that as long as I'm using the oil. So, but if you decide to remove it, my advice for you would be to leave it like that for a good 48 hours before you separate the oil from the leaves. For me, I have no problem. I will let it sit there, and that's the way I'll be using it. I won't separate it. Actually, it's just up to you. So at this point, my oil is nearly done. I will leave it for a couple of minutes and I will put it aside, let it cool down. I won't touch it. I will forget about it. My oil of choice will be grapeseed oil, which is very good for the hair and for the scalp. And because I will be cooking this second recipe on the fire, I think grapeseed oil is the perfect oil for that because of its fire point. But I could use olive oil, but you know olive oil, when you heat it, when you heat it directly to the fire, it will lose its nutrient quite quickly, and grapeseed oil in that instance is the best oil for that. So I'm using grapeseed oil. You can use almond oil, you can use sunflower oil. Any good oil will do for your hair, really, but that's the oil I have. It's the one I'm using. And one very important, guys, you will see I will add a half a cup of water. That's quite important because if you don't add water in this recipe, the oil will start heating up and it will start burning your leaves. You don't want that. You want the heat to gently warming your leaves, like they can start releasing the nutrient. You don't want to burn them. So this is why I add my oil, and when it start boiling, it will go starting boiling gently. Don't add too much oil, just a bit of it, and it will do. And when you put it to the fire, the boiling water will start to evaporate first. You can cover it, it will steam up, and you will end up with a nice oil which is not burned, and your leaves will be nicely cooked and they will be able to release the nutrient. And I will leave it on the fire until I don't hear the water boiling anymore, and the oil will be nicely brown, tiny bit brown, not burned. And when you have it like that, you put it aside and you will know that your oil is ready to be put in your jar, your bottle, whatever you want. And again, I will keep my leaves. I will keep my leaves. I won't separate them. I will keep it in my oil and I will use it with them. Voila. And now you have a beautiful ready oil. You can see it still have a bit of water. It still have a bit of water because the bubble are quite high, and when you see all the bubble are down, means like your oil is ready. My oil is nearly done, guys. And please, my love, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel and you're a return viewer, you are a new viewer, please consider subscribe to the channel. I'm inviting you to subscribe to the channel. I would love you to subscribe to the channel. Do it and we can have so much fun together. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell, because if you don't hit it, you will miss my videos and it will take weeks for you to find out that I again share a great recipe or do a new hair routine. So I hope to see you very soon, and as my new subscribers, welcome. I love you guys. See you soon. Bye bye.